And the visitors, the Auckland Warriors, led out by John Simon. Been a fairly hot and humid day here in North Queensland. Perhaps has cooled down a little this evening, but I'm sure some of these Auckland boys will be feeling the heat tonight. The Auckland side, as per program, coached of course by Mark Graham, who spent 3 years up here as the assistant to Tim Sheens with the Cowboys. And Robert Mears, the hooker, who's been a very good buy for the Auckland Warriors since they brought him over from Australia, was struggling to find a place in an NRL side. Went to Auckland with great success.
His darts out of dummy half really have had opposing defensive teams marking him down as a much greater player than they gave him credit for at the beginning of the season. And that's probably one of the main reasons, I think, that John Simon's being able to affect his attacking plays so effectively. If Mears can get an opposing team going backwards, it gives his running game and also his kicking game an extra added advantage.
John Simon can be a little hot and cold, as we found this season. And the North Queensland side led out onto Dairy Farmer Stadium by Tim Brasher. And in the North Queensland side, the one change, Paul Bowman ruled out again. He's been suffering from concussion after the game in Melbourne 2 weeks ago, and Jeff Bell comes into the centres. Coached, of course, by Tim Sheens. One of their star players this year has been the informed Julian O'Neill.
No surprise to see when Julian O'Neill really found form, so too did the Cowboys. Maybe a little bit difficult for him to show any enterprise earlier in the season, because it did seem that the Cowboys were having a little bit of difficulty in stretching the ball and getting it out to their centres. Of course, O'Neill, really regarded as a utility player at the moment, has been able to benefit. Once the team have thrown the ball around, the inside two, though, are vital to his chances, though Green and Goldthorpe have got to shift the ball.
Stay behind you, guys.
Referee for tonight is Kelvin Jeffs. Originally, Jeffs was going to be in First Division, but Mark Oaten taking ill, and there was a reshuffle, and Kelvin Jeffs called in to do this game as John Simon puts the game underway. Tim Brasher taking that ball from the kickoff. I guess from Tim Brasher's point of view, with all of the speculation about State of Origin fullbacks and Test fullbacks, he's really the forgotten man. What a great servant he's been to New South Wales and Australia over the years. Brett Boyd going out of dummy half on his own 30.
Roll away. Roll away.
First penalty of the night for Auckland, not clearing the ruck, and the quick kick for line taken by the Cowboys. Robert Ralph takes it 15 metres now inside Auckland territory. To Buttigieg, looking for a big game tonight, John Buttigieg. Been inconsistent in his form this year, but we all know what a good player he is at his best. Mark Shipway up on the 20-metre mark of Auckland. Jeremy Schloss, good run by Schloss. They just were intent to stay off him for a little and let him pick up an easy 10, 15 metres. Paul Green putting it on the deck for Noel Goldthorpe. Last tackle coming up now for the Cowboys. Green with that high ball out towards Fafili. Knocked forward by Graham Appo. And on the last tackle, lost forward by North Queensland, the changeover, and Auckland come up with possession.
And whilst there was some disappointment that the Cowboys didn't get to cash in on it, I think encouraging signs for Paul Green's kicking game. It has been a little bit wobbly early in previous matches. So far tonight, right on target.
Auckland's first chance to use the football. Leovar, 25 out from his own line. Now Big Joe Wagner had a storming game last week against the Bulldogs. Kicking early in the tackle count. Good kick too, which Appo will get back and field. And he's back inside his own 10 metres. I guess Wally and Brett Kenny, the battle tonight are the number 8s. John Buttigieg and Joe Wagner. We know what good players they are, and both this year been just a little hot and cold, probably more cold than hot.
Yeah, that's true, John. Although
here's a break being made to Appo. Run down from behind by Henry Fafili. Quick play the ball they need, North Queensland. From Ralph, then away to Boyd. Wide infield. Through Goldthorpe and Green and then Shipway, and he's able to push his pass to Smith, but the cover defence slides to get him.
Hold.
Paul Green. Deep for Goldthorpe's kick. In behind for Feely again. Into his own in goal. And Henry Fafili touches down in goal, so a goal line dropout coming up for the Auckland Warriors.
Yeah, John, as I was going to say, Jay Wagner, I think you see the replay here. Again, another very good kick. Covered it up quite comfortably. And they'll get another set of 6. Be able to put the pressure back on the Warriors. But Jay Wagner, I think last week had probably one of his better games for the season. And interesting to note too that it was getting close to test selection as well.
Yes, there's always that little extra spring in the step, isn't there, when representative selections are up for grabs. Oh, mistake made by Paul Green, just taking his eyes off that ball, and quickly picked up by Auckland. So a great chance now for the Warriors to attack, but they lose the ball as well. Knocked on by Auckland, and the referee ruling that they'd had enough time for the advantage to work in their favour, so it'll be a North Queensland scrum feed.
I was just taking off the ball a little bit there for Paul Green. Sure that Auckland will be wishing they were playing rugby union rules there, and the first offence had gone, no advantage. Really, that's a let-off for the Cowboys.
Noel Goldthorpe, who has been struggling just with an ankle injury, but now another lost ball by North Queensland, stripped. Nigel Wagner just disputing that call. The referee ruling that it was stripped by the Auckland Warriors. Whoa. 2 going into the tackle, and it wasn't stripped. He simply lost it cold.
Well, why wouldn't he dispute it? Gee, that didn't even remotely look close to a ball being stripped out of a player's grip.
Stand up.
Brett Boyd into dummy half. Wide pass to pick up Goldthorpe. Just a short pass. Running hard, Sean Valentine. 8 metres out from the line. They go to the left. Paul Green looking for a runner. It's Bell. He was taken high.
Come out, Alan.
And has been KO'd, Jeff Bell, in that high tackle.
I'll just stay there for a moment. Yeah, all right. I'm going to put it on record. I'm going to put it on record. I'm going to put it on record, Tim.
Now, Ali Lartiti just waiting there till the referee comes over to talk to him. Jeff Bell, who was a late replacement for Paul Bowman into the starting side for this game.
I'm not sure of the point of contact, okay?
Well, it was a promising movement from the Cowboys. They realised that they had the Warriors' defence stretched.
You're on a roll again, all right?
The ball going across. And cleverly run into a hole. But, well, I think that's almost a victim of circumstance there, because the first contact appeared to be just on across the shoulder, and it's definitely gone up and made some contact, which is stunned. The match
There'll be a penalty.
Report sheet getting its first booking for the night.
Okay. It's back on the line.
And the Cowboys, an opportunity to register their first points.
Penalty goes to North Queensland. Ali Lartiti put on report by referee Kelvin Jeffs for that high shot on Jeff Bell. Chance again for the Cowboys to attack. Shipway tackled 8 metres out from the line. Goldthorpe to Green. Inside to Robert Ralph. Pop the pass back well to Tim Brasher. Then away to Appo. Appo cutting back infield. Caught by the defence of Nigel Wagner and put to ground. Boyd. Pass knocked down by Ali Lartiti. Knocked on by Auckland, so this will be another scrum feed for the Cowboys, just 10 out.
Don't let the frustration beat you, all right?
Yeah, sorry.
Right, there's no
So an excellent attacking position for the home side.
What I need you to do is
Scrum
square up for
in
me.
centre
Both
field,
square up.
so they can attack to either side of the ground.
Drop it in, drop it in. Stay there, stay there.
They come to the shorter of the two sides, to Julian O'Neill. O'Neill cutting through, gets over the line, O'Neill, and got the ball down. Referee will go to Eddie Ward, the video ref.
All right, what we need to look at to see is whether he got the ball down correctly.
Well, always in position, wasn't he, Julian? Spotted the hole, he ran wide. All that was required was the pass to be in front of him, which it was. Dragged down just short of the line. Well, I think he's lost that, but regained control of it just before he put the ball on the ground. I don't think there's too much of a problem with that. But it was a very clever short side scrum move, Brett.
Well, it was, and of course Nigel Wagner made the cardinal sin of letting the opposition player get on the outside. Julian O'Neill had plenty of pace.
Here's the shot that will tell. Still in control there, and I think he's lost that. I don't think he's had control of that when it's hit the deck.
Oh, gee,
Yes.
two different looks, two different views. Julian, I think,
Go to the 20.
got up. You could see him clapping. He applauded his own work there, but maybe it would have been a little bit of nerves in there.
Auckland don't think it's a try. What does Eddie Ward think? He agrees with Auckland. No try.
Thanks, Eddie.
Julian O'Neill just losing the ball centimetres
Robert, wait
before
up.
he was able to put it down for what would have been a good try. Nil all it remains. Auckland restart with the tap of the 20.
Hey, get up, get up. Okay.
Well, they've had all of the field position so far, North Queensland, but they haven't been able to turn that into points, which is the most important thing.
Let him up.
On the 40, Scott Coxon to play it, not allowed to play
Roll
it.
away. Roll away.
And this is going to be some relief for the Warriors. They've been under the hammer for the last few minutes.
Work back.
Got to make sure that they
All right.
get their attacking game back in. That's only going to be set up by their ball control.
Roll away.
Ali Titi playing it. Robert Mears goes from dummy half, is able to sneak some 8 metres.
That's a come. Come out. You finished off the top. All right. You come over the top, and you drop your elbow onto his head.
Yep.
All right. You finish off the tackle and you drop the elbow on the head. All right. I don't need it.
Brett Boyd, the offender. And so the penalty goes to Auckland. Just a little forearm jolt.
Forearm jolt.
Very silly place to give a forearm jolt. Pretty much straight in front of the post. That's a gift 2 points.
Well,
you
I
would
think Boyd, yeah, John, I think Boyden himself would know that because it was never going to cause any great damage to Mears as it was,
Take it back, Sean.
and effectively has opened up a chance for the visitors to post first points for the game, which really will go quite against the flow of the game so far.
John Simon will line up this first shot at goal for Auckland. Some 12 metres back and just a few metres to the right-hand side of the uprights. 61% kicking this season for John Simon. Wouldn't be all that happy with that. 11 from 18. He's normally a more accurate kicker than those figures would suggest.
Saucy. Move back.
No mistake by John Simon. And you have to say probably against the run of play, where North Queensland have dominated possession, against that run of play, Auckland post the first points. John Simon a penalty goal and the visitors lead 2-0.
Julian O'Neill trying for a quick kick-off to get the ball dead. Almost successful. Simon to bring the ball out.
Had to get back quickly, John Simon, to field that ball. And he's out 15 metres from his own line. Leoden Ryan decides to run from dummy half. Dragged back inside the 20 in the tackle of Jeff Bell, who's recovered from that shot a few moments ago from Lautiti. Joe Wagner. Hard run by Wagner and lost the ball. Did the right thing, Big Joe. He got deep to really hit that ball at top pace, then loses it in the tackle.
Well, John, that's been the problem for Auckland at the moment. They haven't had that much possession, and unfortunately when they have had it, they haven't been able to control it for the 6 plays.
O'Neill again comes to the short side, almost chopping through once more. Again, it's Nigel Wagner left to get him and does so. Robert Relf once more working onto the short side, onto the right. 8 metres from the line. Goldthorpe. Valentine hit by Lauatiti. He'll be lucky to stay on, Ali Lauatiti. He's gone. Ali Lauatiti. He fell foul of the referee the first time. Doesn't escape the second. And he's going to have a busy week coming up. Ali Lauatiti on report for a high shot earlier on and then sent off just a few minutes later.
Well, their attempts to be able to get up. He read the pass pretty well, Lauatiti. Valentine coming onto the ball, and just going a little bit too high.
Well, fair enough decision. I think it was the second time.
Yeah, I've got no problem with referees doing that, Brett, as long as they remain consistent. If a bloke's been hit high, it looks like there is some discomfort for Valentine on the ground as it is. The replay showed probably exactly where the contact was made, but if a referee's going to send a person off of that, they have to send a player off every time that same offence is committed. And that has been the player's #1 objection throughout the season.
I think probably with both Jeff Bell and now with Sean Valentine, the injury wasn't so much the actual contact from Lauatiti, it's when they've gone down and hit the ground as a result.
You see there, they actually Lauatiti landed on his head.
It doesn't matter if it's rugby league or the rules, you can up the excitement.
But as you said, Wally, as long as they're consistent, the referees, and it'd be nice to see tonight just how many high tackles we do see let go.
Well, I reckon there's probably been about 5 or 6 already in this match that have been let go, and both teams have been certainly guilty of it. The referee has got to get some sort of respect from the players. He's got to take a stance to make sure that he has the authority out there in the field.
So Sean Valentine being taken off the ground by Steve Sartori and Brian Hyder, the North Queensland trainers. And a pretty sick boy is Sean Valentine. Glenn Morrison coming on to replace him. Morrison, who suffered that wicked injury, accidental injury, when he was kneed by Darren Lockyer in the game against the Broncos a few weeks ago. So his first appearance back, Glenn Morrison. And Sean Valentine not quite knowing exactly where he is at the moment.
Yeah, it is.
Brian Hyder just saying to the referee, just halt play. We might have to get the Medicab out here to help him off. Which is exactly what's going to happen.
Sorry, Brian, I thought you'd take me, that's all. Yeah, that's all right. You can't make it. Yeah.
It's like the Parramatta Speedway. There are more vehicles on the field than the Speedway.
There's the little bike that's...
Thanks, Brian.
So drama here in the opening minutes of this game in Townsville with Ali Lauatiti on report for a high shot earlier on, which felled Jeff Bell, and then only minutes later didn't learn by that mistake. A high shot this time on Sean Valentine. Lauatiti set off, Valentine taken from the field in the Medicab. Glenn Morrison back from injury to replace Valentine. Auckland a man short, and North Queensland now to have an easy shot at goal from in front to level at 2-2. Julian O'Neill to line up this kick. Easy kick for O'Neill from in front. 2-2 it is. North Queensland and Auckland. And Auckland a man short for the remainder of this game with Ali Titi set off.
Well,
Stacey, hold him back.
something often interesting, I think, for a lot of teams to see just how they perform after a player has been sent off. Lots of games, of course, have been won in the past by 12-man teams. What it does straight away is it demands 100% effort from every player that's out in the football field. In a strange way, it may benefit Mark Graham to see exactly how much ticker his team have got.
In fact, if my memory serves me correctly, I think Auckland won a game last year. It may have been against Canterbury, but they won a game last year where they played pretty much a man short after they had a player sent off. So it will be interesting to see how they lift. Brasher coming back on the angle run, put to ground by Jason Deeth coming over the top. Scott Coxon was underneath. Schloss to play it. On his own 40. Paul Green's kick. Fielded by Scott Petherbridge. Slips as he brings it outside his own 20, the Auckland fullback. Fafili. Off the left wing, tackled by Buttigieg. Jerry Siusiu.
Get up, Glenn Morrison, get up. Wait. That's 4. Julian.
10 short of halfway, the Auckland Warriors. Robert Mears runs from dummy half
On the go, don't jump early.
and reaches halfway, and the last tackle coming up for the Warriors. Deciding to run it on the last. Turned back inside by David Miles. Still kept alive, now lost. North Queensland ball.
Come back.
Mark Shipwhite.
Hell to! Let him up. Come back, Johnny, come back.
Green away to Goldthorpe. Almost through the gap. Monty Beetham. And jersey 16 was the one who cut him down. Now Morrison. Buttigieg. Coming from deep, John Buttigieg. Hard run. Underneath him goes Beetham to make the tackle. On the last now, the Cowboys. Brasher. Call back. In fact, because of a fight back on the other side of the field.
Well, the referee's called it straight back, so you would believe that if he's done that against the flow of play where North Queensland were attacking, he's seen an offence
Yeah, John Buttigieg.
by a Cowboys player.
John. And the number from Auckland? This one here. Okay, Tony, I need you to move back. John, I need everyone else to move back, boys. Come over. All right, have a listen to what the touch judge has to say. Okay.
This guy's the aggressor. From what I've seen, he's had a swing. Cowboy guys retaliated to that.
All right.
That's gone on from there.
Okay, so this is the aggressor.
Yep.
All right, the penalty will go that way. What you need to do, when you make a tackle, all right, you need to get up off the man, hands away and let him play the football, all right? Okay, move back into position. All right, now, John, move back into position. Okay, John, you're in front, all right? You need to control yourself, play football, okay?
Yeah.
All right, I need you to go to the blood bin.
With Monty Beetham deemed to be the aggressor, North Queensland were attacking.
Why would he pull it up?
And I think that's exactly what Tim Brasher's asking.
Penalty?
The penalty's going to go to us. Why didn't we get an advantage? still within kicking range for Julian O'Neill,
boys.
but they should have been given the opportunity to score a try.
They're going for 2 now. The point is they probably could have got 6.
Oh, well, he's played a part in the game, the touch judge.
Stacey, just
Should
drag
have
him
himself
back
on-
another metre or so, mate,
on
okay?
TV.
I think Big John Buttigieg will be fairly happy that the penalty has gone to his team. His coach, had the penalty have gone the other way, I don't think would have seen the funny side of it. But it's been a very interrupted first 15 minutes of the match so far.
Well, he certainly caught one, Buttigieg, because that was the reason that he was sent to the blood bin by the referee. And while this kick is taken, Paul Green's also gone in for some running repairs for the Cowboys. And I tell you what, the referee probably has to watch this game closely. It's just giving the indications that this could well start to blow up.
Yes, it's getting a little heated out there, isn't it? Although it is a warm night.
And neither side wants to stay on the bottom or be on the bottom of the ladder. O'Neill to put the Cowboys in front, and does so. Successful penalty by Julian O'Neill. North Queensland in front by 4 points to 2. Remembering that Auckland are a man short. With Ali Titi sent from the field after some 22 minutes. John Buttigieg in the blood bin, having that wound over the right eye attended to.
Wait.
Simon takes the restart. Run back by Morrison. He'll play it just inside his own 20. Robert Ralph. Greg Burke tackled on his own 30 but lost the ball, Burke. Jason Deeth came up with it, so a great chance now for Auckland to attack. Leovar put to ground. He'll play the ball to Mears. His pass then goes away to Tony Tuamavave. Jason Deeth coming back inside, gave it to Tuamavave, picked off immediately. Good tackle, Brett Boyd. Simon. Then away through Jones to Wagner, back to Jones. Petherbridge in from fullback. Once more in the hands of Stacey Jones. 8 metres out from scoring the Warriors. Mears to the blind side. Pass went backwards to Henry Fafili. On the last now, the Warriors. Jones, little grubber kick, didn't come off the boot as he wanted, but then knocked on. Exactly what Auckland wanted. It wasn't the best of kicks, but the knock on from Brett Boyd. So the chance for Auckland to feed another scrum 10 metres out from the Cowboys line.
Well, at least some encouraging on news, I suppose, for the Auckland camp, for the judiciary next week. Sean Valentine actually leaving the field with a twisted back.
Jason Deeth put to ground 15 metres out from the line. Petherbridge looking one way, then the other, again to Miles. Driven to ground in some willing defence by Paul Green. Here's Lee Oden-Ryan. Only 5 metres out, Oden-Ryan. Jones to John Simon to Big Joe. Hit in a high tackle, and, well, it's on again. Robert Ralph is the player this time who came in with the high shot.
What's happened, all right? We've hit him here and it's come up, all right? I want you to get your tackles down, all right? You've seen what the other reaction has been, all right? I need you to get your tackles down for me, all right? Can you do that for me? And it's going to be a penalty.
It is here, it's not a high tackle.
All right, I still deem it was high because it came under the neck, all right?
The rules are,
Okay, Tim, what I ask?
isn't the rule hits the chest, it's red? It goes
What I'm asking for is for him to get his tackles down and go higher.
Wait, but what
All
you
right,
do?
just-
Can't slip up, man.
Come on, Ron, let's get on with the game. It's on report.
Another one on report. He's going to run out of paper. Be the longest report in history. Fill a full book. So Robert Relf goes on report for the high tackle on Joe Wagner. It's also going to be one of the longest halves we've seen this year with all of the stoppages. Now we'll have another shot at goal. Let's have a look at this this shot, this time by Robert Relf on Wagner.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know what the Cowboys are squealing about. They've had a couple of complaints to the referee about where contact was made, and if that hasn't made contact high, I'd be very surprised. Go and ask Big Joe, I think he'd tell you it was. Anyway.
Yes, I think Joe's had his nose rearranged in that little incident.
Well, I think the only thing that saved Robert Relf there was his first offence. If it was his second, maybe he would have gone too.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if the big fella had stayed on the ground too and made out the injury was a little bit worse, what action the referee had have taken. Anyway.
And just as John Simon lines up this kick, going back to that injury to Sean Valentine, a twisted back in the incident with Lartiti, for which Lartiti was sent from the field. Successful kick by John Simon. It's 4 points all. Turning into a fiery game and a penalty shootout at the moment. 4-all North Queensland and Auckland.
John, the thing about this game, we mentioned before how the Warriors have only got 12 players, and Wally said a lot of times the players end up lifting. But it'll be interesting to see how the Cowboys play against the 12 men, because a lot of times you see sides try to throw the ball wide early on in the tackle count, thinking they'll get outside them, and in actual fact what they do is play, as this ball goes out on the full, they actually play right into the opposition's hands.
Well, that's just a basic mistake by North Queensland to put the ball out on the full from the kickoff. It's a penalty to Auckland back on halfway. He'd be furious. Julian O'Neill's. So too would Tim Sheen.
A quarter way through the match, I think you can see it's pretty evident the way that Auckland are approaching the match. They know that they've got to take things as slowly as possible to construct their attack where they can. They don't need to rush it whatsoever. They need to look for every break in play that they possibly can. The Cowboys, conversely, they don't need to stretch the ball, as Brett Kenny mentioned, but they do need to continue to play as fast as they possibly can.
Taliti Leavar playing it up on the 20 of North Queensland. Stacey Jones. Back to Tony Tuamavave. Almost put him into a gap. It was well read in the end by Tim Brasher. Wagner, Big Joe on the blind side, driven back by Shipway. Jones. Simon. Looking for the runner coming back on the inside. Leavar wasn't able to link up with him. Now Mears out of dummy half, rolls it into the in goal. Brasher does well to get back into the field of play, Tim Brasher. Terrific experience by the former Test fullback.
Yeah, it was good the way that as soon as he grabbed the football, he knew that he had to go low. Clever work from Mears to be able to drop the ball behind the line. The experience got Brasher. He knew that he had to stay low, not give an opportunity for an Auckland player to push him backwards into the end goal.
Noel Goldthorpe kicking early in the count to get out of his own territory. Deep kick too it was. Down to Petherbridge, dived at by O'Neill. Slowed him down enough just for the defence coming through to eventually make the tackle. It was Peter Jones who got to him. Now for Feely. Lee Odenryan. 11 metres inside his own half, Odenryan. 4 points all it is, Auckland and North Queensland. Stacey Jones running to the line, showing that ball. Such a tricky customer, Jones, when he runs with the ball in hand. Can always put the defence into two minds. This is Tuamavave. Last tackle now for Auckland. Stacey Jones with the kick that will find touch. Good kick by Jones. Probably just good tactics too. Just slow things down a little when you're playing a man short. And it is hot and humid, as it is up here in Townsville tonight. Just take every chance you can to get a breather.
So that's something that the Warriors will have to look at when they're defending, which will be very shortly, is to try and hold the players down, slow the play the ball up. But in saying that, they've got to make sure they don't give away too many penalties as well.
Here's an interesting thing. Stacey Jones has come right out here onto the left wing in defence. Probably does a little bit, just changes so they run some big fellas at their halves. Stacey Jones isn't there. Just give him a little bit of a break. Shipway running this time at Nigel Wagner. Goldthorpe inside to Peter Jones. Greg Burke. 5 short of halfway, the Cowboys. Goldthorpe. Back to Green. Over the head of Scott Petherbridge. And will roll 2 deep. Petherbridge aiding it over the dead ball line. He probably didn't have to anyway. It would have gone there by itself. It'll be up to the 20 now for the restart by Auckland.
Wait.
A real stop-start affair this one has been, but a game with a lot of drama so far. Scott Coxon. Good scamper by Mears from dummy half. Draws the penalty for up inside the 10 against Peter Jones.
And this isn't what the Cowboys need to be giving away free territory, especially with a kicker the calibre of John Simon able to gain territory, although that one certainly wasn't his best. They need to play the game as deeply as possible in Auckland's territory. The big fellas are going to get tired.
Seu, tackled by Jones. Quick play the ball is what they wanted and what they got, and this is Monty Beetham, almost up to the 20 now of the Cowboys. Simon. To Coxon on the short side, back to John Simon, then to Fafili. Nigel Wagner taking the defence on, driven back by Buttigieg. Little kick, grubber kick by Stacey Jones, lost and dived on by Jason Deeth. Jason Deeth diving on that ball. And referee Mark Oaten will check with Eddie Ward as to whether he grounded the ball correctly.
I couldn't tell whether it was knocked on or whether it was forced on, so I'd like you to have a look at it, yes. And who did it first?
Well, the referee's saying he's got no idea whatsoever. The ball being dropped in. It was a very clever play, simply because they decided to shift the ball wide and bring up the Cowboys' defence. Here's the point that we're all looking for, whether there was actually contact made. A downward pressure. And hard to tell from that angle, but it did look like that he made some sort of force downward with the football. Whether he actually had control of it at that stage is going to be up for debate. Well, I think he's made contact with that and gone down.
Well, remembering in that situation, when the ball is like that, all you have to do is put a fingernail on it when the ball's on the ground, and that's what he's done.
Video referee Eddie Ward trying to make sure that he covers all angles on this one. There was no contact made from that Auckland player intentionally to knock the ball forward, or accidentally for that matter. But there is the point that I think will gain the visitors their first 4 points of the night, or the first try of the night, simply because it had to be pushed with some part of the body, the forearm, going down. You just see Deeth stretching to be able to get there, and I think he's made that. There seems to be, at that speed though, it doesn't help a lot, does it?
I wonder will the referee take into account Jerry Siu just pushing Paul Green out of the way? No, I think he was going for the ball. That seems to be fair enough.
Well, he might have been looking there for a point. He may have convinced himself that there was contact made by Deeth on the way down. He's got to clear himself now whether he thinks that there was any push from Siu to get him out the way. I don't think there was any intended push there either.
It just looked as though they were both really going for the ball and didn't bounce their way. So
I think that was okay as far as there was no push there, but geez, the grounding of the ball, a very tough one. The more you slow it down, the worse it actually looks. It's very hard to pick.
Tough decision this one for Eddie Ward. Referee Kelvin Jeffs waiting anxiously to see what Eddie Ward rules. Here comes the decision.
Ooh. Well, an interesting look there from Jason Deeth as well. Didn't look particularly surprised by the decision.
So both sides have now had a very close thing disallowed by the video referee Eddie Ward. Julian O'Neill for North Queensland and Jason Deeth for Auckland.
And John, I think you've got to say in the defence there that neither of those were easy decisions to judge or misjudge, for that matter, because every time you had a look, you probably drew a different conclusion. I'm sure Julian O'Neill is feeling a lot safer now after that kick-off restart. Sale did a touch on the pull.
So it remains 4 points all between the Cowboys and the Warriors. Glenn Morrison to play it. Doesn't have to. Jerry Siu not clearing the ruck, so the penalty, a relieving penalty, this one for the Cowboys.
Well, their efforts to slow down play, of course, Auckland, they've got to do it to help their own program with only 12 players, but they've got to bring a little bit of common sense in as well.
I think one of the things there, Robert Mears did start to pull the jumper, but he waited too long. I think if he did it a bit earlier, if the referee sees that players are trying to get off, they generally let them go.
Jeff Bell cutting through a gap, caught from behind though by David Miles. He'll play it 20 metres up. Green, away to Schloss, trying to drive his way through the gap. He's 10 from the line. Goldthorpe, switch of play. John Buttigieg did well, Buttigieg, to unload that ball. It'll still be a North Queensland ball. Schloss a dummy half. Chad Halliday off the reserves bench and caught on tackle number 5. Goldthorpe. Well fielded though by Scott Petherbridge, just out from his own line and gets a penalty.
Robert Ralph being penalised for pushing Petherbridge back after the tackle had been effected. A neat little grubber in behind the line. Was mopped up fairly well by Petherbridge. Actually, you probably couldn't kick it any straighter to him. But I think they really did take the wrong option. That's a great kick from John Simon, 35 metres out. The Auckland, some pressure off the Warriors.
So the penalties favouring Auckland by 6-5. So 11 penalties in the opening 29 minutes of the game. And here's a ball that's been lost. Well, I know we've had some drama in this game, and I know these two sides are down near the bottom of the ladder, but I can't remember a game for ages that has had just so many stoppages.
For Monty, you're going for Jerry, okay?
Well, simple handling error.
16,
Another loose pass. Brasher goes back to clean up, then is hit by Shontaine Harpy. Appo. 8 short of halfway, Graham Appo to play it. Buttigieg. Tackled by Monty Beetham.
Number three, come on. All right, Stacey.
Ralph. Looking to get through. That ball stripped, was it? No, lost.
go and tell him our position.
Loss rules the referee, and this will be a scrum feed to Auckland.
Robert Ralph, the man coming up with that mistake. 11 of them so far, matching the penalties in this match. Definitely hasn't been a free-flowing affair so far. But I think the Warriors will be fairly happy to be able to get out of this first half and be able to reassess things at half-time in this current situation.
Monty Beetham with the jersey ripped up the left-hand side. Scott Cox into play at 10 inside North Queensland territory. Stacey Jones. Jones showing it and running, almost got past the tackle to avoid. Mears runs out of dummy half, good run, then is able to turn his pass back on the inside to Leavar. They're 20 metres out from scoring, Auckland. Away to Jones, then to Simon. Simon puts the ball on the ground, lost by North Queensland, but backwards and into the clutches of Tim Brasher. He's got some work to do tonight, Tim Brasher, but as always, he does it with that just a cool professionalism that's really been the mark of his football over so many years. Mark Shipway gets to his own 20, but that's 4 tackles gone now for North Queensland. Peter Jones on 5. Still only 30 out from their own line. They'll be looking for a deep kick this time. Back to Paul Green. Green's kick is, just in the field of play and just short of a 40-20. It went so close to going out on the full, but give him full marks. He judged it absolutely to perfection. Probably a couple of heart attacks, I think, on the bench at the same time.
Oh, he might be able to claim that he's disappointed it wasn't a 40-20, but I think he's pleased more than anything that it did land in the field of play. Had it have gone out, it would have given the Warriors an opportunity with just 7.5 minutes left in the first half to be able to post points 35 metres out. Now, the Warriors have got to be able to combat something, Brett. If they've had any real struggle here, it's been their ability to control the football in their forwards whilst they're rucking out of this area of the field.
It has been a bit of a problem, but on the other hand, that was a very good set of 6 by the Cowboys. They just worked the forwards over, put in a good kick at the end of it. I mean, that's all they've got to do. They've also got to play with plenty of patience.
This is Taliti Leavar, the prop forward from Auckland. As they get towards halfway, John Simon gets over the halfway mark, almost got through that gap too. Mears from dummy half, no support with him at the moment, now throws a pass to Odin Ryan. Going the wrong way when he got it, and he was almost offside when he did get it. Stacey Jones, again, kicking early. Graham Appo with the chase, back into the in goal. Scott Petherbridge leading the chase, and good chase by Auckland.
Well done, Auckland.
They knew that the early kick was on, and the chase was equally successful. So a goal line dropout now for the Cowboys. Smart play by Auckland, particularly by their halves.
Well, they realise that they've got to try and turn their opponents around. North Queensland's defence, their speed of their defence has been very good. They're getting up very quickly. That's been countered, I suppose, by a very good chasing team. Interesting now, the Cowboys are the ones trying to slow the play down quite naturally.
Very wobbly goal line dropout by Julian O'Neill. Just taken straight back by Tony Tuamavave. So the first tackle is just 28 metres out from the line. Taliti Leavar. Jason Deeth, himself a former Cowboy. Pass picked up on the bounce by John Simon. Now to Jones. Stacey Jones shows it, short pass for Joe Wagner. He's tackled 20 metres out. Auckland playing a man short. A man set off earlier in the game. Ali Lauatiti. But now the ones trying to post the first try. Jason Deeth, tackle 10 metres out. Last coming up. Back to John Simon. Shot at a field goal. And unsuccessful. Took a while to rule it, Kelvin Jeffs. It looked as though it had gone to the left-hand side. And he just made sure he checked with his officials before he ruled it away. And perhaps just giving some indication of Auckland's thinking that they look at taking a field goal at this stage of the game.
Yeah, that's right, John. The body language would tend to indicate that Auckland are saying, well, we're finding it a little bit too tough to crack the defensive line, but I thought with 5 minutes left in the first half, it would have been worth trying to get a back-to-back set. There's a mistake in the ruck. Boy, that is going to be very costly. Peter Jones coming up with an infringement while trying to play the ball. I'm sure that he'll protest and say that there was some infringement by the Warriors. But he can protest all he likes. The problem was his own. An opportunity now for the Warriors. Just over 4 minutes remaining in this first half.
Playing with 12 men, the Warriors. Can they score the first try? Not with a pass like that, but picked up by Nigel Wagner. He went straight into a yawning gap. He's got terrific speed and he'll score. Well, they've tried everything and couldn't crack North Queensland. And then really from a mistake of their own, a terrible pass. It went backwards. Probably the North Queensland defence just became a little complacent. Nigel Wagner picks it up and says thanks very much. And the first try goes to the Auckland Warriors.
Well, not much of a pat on the back here you can give, but the pass went backwards basically because of a very good chase from a North Queensland Cowboy that deflected the ball backwards. Their attempts to be able to get through and mop things up were very poor in the end. In fact, Tim Brasher was playing out of position at that stage. There's the pass that went along the ground, Brett, and I think the speed with which Appo went up created the opportunity.
Yeah, well, I mean, you couldn't blame, I guess, the Cowboys too much because they saw the opportunity to pick up the football. But unfortunately, Wagner was there before them, and once he got through the first line, there was no one back there. But it all come down to a mistake made earlier on by the Cowboys. It took the pressure off.
Yeah, Peter Jones losing the ball in that play the ball, giving a scrum feed to Auckland. But I think when North Queensland saw that pass go backwards, they thought, here's our chance. Appo came off the wing to go infield to chase, and so the back line came down a little staggered. All of a sudden, when Nigel Wagner picked the ball up, there was a yawning gap in the defensive line, and away he went to score.
Well, Tim Sheens must be getting very frustrated in the coach's box because his side really are making silly mistakes, silly errors. There's no need to try and... I know they'd like to play the ball quickly, but really all they've got to do is go through the motions, have good field position, and just keep applying the pressure on the Warriors and play with patience, and they'll get away with a win. But unfortunately, they're not doing that, and they're putting themselves under a lot of pressure.
They're also adding a lot of fuel into the Auckland Warriors' ego tank at the moment. They're growing their confidence all the time, despite it being a fairly shabby first 38 minutes of play so far. Simon with the opportunity now to stretch the lead to 6 points. And what a bonus this would be for his team going into the half-time break.
In the context of the game, this could be a very important kick by John Simon, which he struck beautifully. Ah, delightful kick, John Simon. Gives a smile, and so he should. He's got reason to. That was a beautiful kick. And that kicks Auckland away to 10 points to 4 over North Queensland. Remembering, of course, that Auckland are a man short with Ali Titi set off early in the game. He was on report for a high tackle earlier on Jeff Bell, and then set off for a high shot on Sean Valentine. But at man short, they're in front by 6 points, 10 to 4. Inside the last 2 minutes of a stop-start first half here in Townsville. Now Auckland will be looking just for a safety set of 6. Joe Wagner still struggling to go forward. Plays the ball. Mears runs out of dummy half. Pass to Jason Deeth the moment he got it. He was in the clutches of Glenn Morrison.
Oh, I don't agree with that play. Gee, there's still a minute left. By the time the scrum's packed all over, there'll probably still be around about 45 seconds left. I thought their far greater option would have been to simply either settle it for the fifth ruck and then kick the ball to a corner, at least buy themselves another 20 or 30 metres.
So Petherbridge electing to kick for line and finding it. And now North Queensland. Can they put a try on in the last minute of the first half as it's played by Schloss to Appo? They're 10 inside Auckland territory, the Cowboys. Goldthorpe. Away to Buttigieg. Hard clash with Jason Deeth, who did well to tackle the big man. Greg Burke. Goldthorpe runs it to the line and then switches it to Schloss. Well read, though, by Robert Mears in cover. This is the last now for the Cowboys. Given wide to O'Neill. That ball was knocked down by Shontaine Harpy. Won't have time, though, to pack this scrum. Even though it came off an Auckland hand, time has run out for the Cowboys. And referee Kelvin Jeffs calls half-time, and at half-time, it's Auckland playing a man short, but leading North Queensland by 10 points to 4. Back shortly for the second half. Julian O'Neill takes the kick-off. One of the interesting stats there was that the line breaks are one apiece. Remembering, of course, that Auckland have played all but around 11 minutes of the game, a man short after Ali Latiti was sent off, but still North Queensland haven't been able to score a try against them, and in fact have only broken their line once.
And I guess too the fact that it was so stop-start that first half, while he was mentioning with the completion rates, very surprising. Good break here.
David Miles trying to brush away from Tim Brasher, but he's inside North Queensland territory by a few metres as Lee Odenryan goes infield, then runs into the clutches of Sean Valentine, who's back out on the field. Well, it was Valentine who was taken off in the Medicab with a twisted back. I must admit, I had to look twice to make sure that was him. I didn't think we'd see him back at all, as Brasher again does well to get back into the field of play. I thought he was gone for the night, Sean Valentine.
Valentine's Day.
I knew it had to come. You couldn't resist, could you? You couldn't resist.
An opportunity now. North Queensland 10 metres out from their line. A little bit of extra petrol in the tank, and oh boy, he's gone down again. The ball has come free. Referee blowing up play here. Probably going to be a little bit of an investigation, as the referee saying that he didn't see too much in it, but there will be an interesting assessment, I think, over whether people are deeming it to be a back slam. There was massive contact made.
Brian Hyder very quickly out there to see Brett Boyd.
Leavar coming in. Well, I think you can see there that the contact was, well, the ball was well and truly on its way out before it went down. The contact was made very high up in the chest, probably even the shoulder went up to make contact, but I don't think that there's anything illegal in that tackle.
No. I said, Boyd, I mean, Sean Valentine, he is having a terrible night. As we said, he's just come back onto the field, having been involved in that incident in the first half when Ali Latiti was sent off, and now for the second time tonight, out comes the Medicab for him.
In almost exactly the same spot.
Well, the question's got to be asked. I mean, we saw him go off early. He's come back out there. That was a very good tackle, a very good hit. Whether or not he was really fit enough to be able to come back out.
Yeah, it's probably a good point, Brett. And a lot of people may be a little bit critical. Well, that's just sheer contact. I don't think that you can point the finger at it there. But the question is going to be asked, was he in a fit state to be able to take the field once again? Upon first appraisal, when you had a look at him going off in the first half, you'd say there's no way in the world that he possibly could have come back. But upon learning of his injury in the first half, had nothing to do with concussion whatsoever. There was no problem, despite a player being sent from the field for the high tackle offence involved. The injury was listed by the club medical trainers and the doctor as a twisted back. There was no problem with concussion whatsoever.
Well, let's hope that he is okay, Sean Valentine. I mean, this could be a record of his own, an unenviable record. How many players actually, for two separate incidents in the one game, get a trip in the Medicab? Sean Valentine might be in the record books for all the wrong reasons, but let's just hope that he's okay. But as you said, Wally, there was really nothing wrong with that. It was just a tough tackle up around the shoulders and the force of it driving him to ground. And there will be questions asked later as to, having had a twisted back, whether in fact he was fully fit to come back on. But it was just a great driving tackle
and watch
by Taliti Leavar.
And his head hit the ground there. Yeah. That's probably the real problem for his state at the moment, is when he actually hit the turf, and that's for the second time tonight. But as we wish him well and hope that there's nothing wrong, I think we can safely say that he won't take any further part in this match. But I've got to give
it's a night that he'll remember for all the wrong reasons, Sean Valentine.
John, I've got to give a bit of a pat on the back. Whilst you're not congratulating somebody for coming up with a tackle that's caused injury to somebody else, but Taliti Leavar, the last couple of matches that he's played for the Auckland Warriors, he has really stood up to be counted. He's a guy that doesn't possess the massive size of teammate Joe Wagner, but boy, when he goes in to make contact, whether it be in attack or defence, he certainly puts his body on the line. He's not the biggest bloke on the paddock by any means. Fortunately, It's worked well for his team, but there's yet another stoppage. We were discussing at half-time, this is almost got to be the longest game of football that we've seen all year. The first half took almost an hour to complete.
I just hope the referee remembers what the call was before the stoppage.
I think the Auckland players will remind him.
So the medical team certainly taking their time with Sean Valentine, taking every possible precaution.
Do you need to hang on to anyone for you? Do you want to give them a hand? Or... Yeah, you sure?
So
Oh, he's in strife, isn't
up
he?
onto his knees, yeah, he's certainly is in strife. The most unforgettable game of Sean Valentine's career. This will be
Although I think he will forget it.
one that he'll always look back on and say, oh, that's one night I will never ever forget, for all of the wrong reasons. So let's just hope that he is okay as Brian Hyder and the medical team care for him.
No.
Well, whilst he leaves the field in a distressed state,
We'll just wait a little while longer.
I think it's also a bit of a benefit.
What we'll do, we'll just wait till
Warriors.
it goes all the way off, all right? Auckland feed.
Kelvin just confirming that the mistake by the Cowboys will offer the Warriors the chance to feed the ball in, but it's taken away one of the forwards from the North Queensland Cowboys. Of course, with one of the forwards sent off from Auckland, it pretty much evens up that department at the moment. And that's one area that the Cowboys really did need to match up against their opponents tonight in the work rate of their forwards.
Yeah, just wait.
Boy.
So again, the medical staff just not wanting to move Sean Valentine until they have him immobilised to their satisfaction before the Medicab moves off.
Nice and easy.
Very sick and sorry boy, Sean Valentine, and we will have a report on him as soon as we possibly can on his condition. So after that long stoppage, play goes on. And this is Taliti Leavar, who made that solid tackle on Valentine playing the ball. Now to Coxon. Driven back by the North Queensland defence. They're only 15 metres out from the line, Auckland. Simon in behind the line to Jason Death and then to Miles. Good tackle by Damien Smith coming in off his wing to drive him to ground and make him cough up possession. Now to Brasher. I guess it's hard too for the players to get in some momentum going as a penalty goes for North Queensland. Just when there have been so many stoppages, it is hard for the players just to get into the real feel of the game.
Yeah, tough to get going, but that really wasn't something that Scotty Coxon would be all that happy about, or Coach Mark Graham. It's ridiculous to try and even suggest that there was no infringement there. However, it's added a little bit of spirit to the Cowboys' attack, 30 metres out from the line.
That's where Glenn Morrison will play the ball. 10-4 it is in favour of Auckland. Auckland playing a man short. Ali Laatiti sent from the field in the first half. O'Neill coming across the field at an angle. Runs into a good tackle though from Jason Death. Goldthorpe giving his pass. Wide through Bell. Hoping just to quickly get it away to Smith. And now it's on the sideline. The tensions in this game have spilt right over, and this is ugly. The cheer girls doing their best to get out of the way. Oh, this is a terrible fight. Well, Jerry, see you in the thick of it. Tony Tuamavave there. In fact, that's Tuamavave just putting the headgear back on.
Well, the incident starting after the ball was grubber kicked through Damien Smith, I think it was. And it wasn't the place that the North Queensland Cowboy cheer squad girls wanted to be at that stage.
Everyone go behind the line. Go back behind the line for me. Skipper. So who do you want? Yeah.
The Auckland player took the player over the line, and then there was a scuffle in the back, but I didn't see the number of the Auckland blokes. He was on the stage.
Which two was it? Can you identify who the one?
I couldn't pick him because he was on the ground with the cheer girls. I couldn't see the player.
All right, but who was the aggressor to start?
The aggressor was the Auckland, because he was taking the player over the sideline.
All right. Okay, so it's
Maybe he's got to ask the cheer girls who it was.
Yeah,
They'll know.
the aggressor. Okay, listen to me. We haven't picked anyone out as being running in or anything like that. It was a bit hard, difficult to find out who it was. The penalty is going to go against you. Now, walk away, boys. Johnny. Right, listen to me. What you need to do now is settle both sides down and we play some football, all right?
And can we kick in that?
No, we've got to sit. You got the penalty.
Well, I tell you what, John, that's gone via the report of the touch judge, who's 75 metres away.
Here it is again.
There's the incident there. That's how it started. Basically from a player objecting to having his jersey held. Well, I can tell you who started that. And if the touch judge on the other side of the field said that he saw it as being an Auckland player, he'd best visit an optometrist.
Well, the two players in it, of course, were David Miles initially from Auckland with Damien Smith.
That's where the problem started, closest to the fence there. I'm pretty sure it was Brett Boyd that came in to put one on Tony Tuamavave, and it's probably the wrong bloke to belt.
Quite a few of the cheer girls are leaving. I don't blame them. It's like a war zone. So Julian O'Neill now to have this kick at goal, and the bit of a head count for the cheer girls to make sure they're all there. I think they're okay.
Actually, John, I think one of them left the ground. One of them did go up the tunnel. I think one of the girls did get hurt in that.
Well, what a game this has been. Julian O'Neill's kick, swinging back in. It'll stay just inside the right upright. Success for Julian O'Neill. 10-6 it is in favour of Auckland. And referee Kelvin Jeffs now really with his work cut out, because this game is giving every indication of getting out of his control. Wow. And he really does have to, with his touch judges, have a very firm hand from here on in.
Yeah, that's right. You can just keep your eye on how much input that the three officials have in the next 10 or 15 minutes. As you mentioned, John, they really do have to gain control. They've had none of it so far in the game.
Now, Brett Kenny has just been into the North Queensland dressing room to check on Sean Valentine.
Yeah, John, look, he has got concussion, and they said he had a slight fit while laying on the ground out there on the. So what they're doing is they're getting an ambulance to arrive, and they'll take him off to hospital, obviously to get him checked out.
Well, we hope that Sean Valentine is okay. He certainly will be well looked after by the medical staff here at the ground and at the Mater Hospital here in Townsville. 10 points to 6 in favour of Auckland. Robert Mears running out of dummy half, and he's 8 metres inside North Queensland territory. Now to Big Joe Wagner. Quick play the ball, back to Jones, then to Simon. Simon with a long pass to David Miles. Taken by Jeff Bell. Deeth to play it on tackle number 5, Deeth. John Simon's kick into the clutches of Smith. Chasers come through and put him to ground 15 metres out from North Queensland's line. Now to Jones. 10-6 in favour of the visitors, Auckland. Playing a man short, Auckland, with Laatiti set off in the first half. And a knock on, and this could flare up again. Sayu and Brasher.
I think Brasher could be best advised to walk away.
Yes, I don't think I would want to pick big Jerry Sayu, but two wild-looking men. Auckland scrum win. Petherbridge into the line. Does well to give it away to the try scorer, Nigel Wagner. Sayu. Now away through Jones, then to Simon, stepping off the right foot. Paul Green gets him. Then the defence comes in to drive him back a few metres with Buttigieg leading the way. Stacey Jones just popping the pass up. Taken, in fact it was going to be taken by Deeth. He couldn't get it. Bell did get it. Then it was dived on by Auckland.
Come in.
And the touch judge is in again. Penalty North Queensland on the touch judge's report.
I just wanted to slow it down a little bit. I could hear you calling offside. Offside to who I wasn't sure.
So against Auckland for touching the ball in an offside position, but as you heard the referee say, only called him in so he could slow things down a bit. Good. That just shows the pressure that referee Kelvin Jeffs is under. He was a late call up to this game. He was going to be doing First Division. He may be wishing he'd stayed there. Glenn Morrison. 28 metres out from scoring, North Queensland. Green turning his pass back on the inside to Robert Ralph. Goldthorpe to Green on the right, then to O'Neill. Coming back on the angle, Wagner read it well. Goldthorpe. Again away to Green. Cuts out one, gave it to Bell. Good tackle though made on him. Tackle made by David Miles. Goldthorpe. Again switching at the angles to Robert Ralph. Almost got through. Dragged down only 2 metres short of the line. Jeremy Schloss goes from dummy half. Couldn't get through. Caught just a metre out from the line.
Oh, and I bet the Auckland Warrior defence, it was absolutely stretched to breaking point on their left-hand side. The Cowboys had numbers but elected to go from dummy half. A poor choice, but I've got to say I think the Cowboys were unlucky not to pick up a penalty. One of the players that was affected the tackle certainly wasn't back on side. However, Auckland now a chance 30 metres out from their line. It's imperative that they get a good kick and chase game going.
News from the Cowboys dressing room is that Sean Valentine has just been taken into to hospital now. So he'll be spending the night for observation in hospital as Tim Brasher runs it back hard and almost got through. Good tackle though by Miles. It was a desperation tackle. Had Brasher got through that line, there was every chance he could have gone all the way. Just going back to Miles, who was involved in that original the start of that very nasty incident that spilled over onto the sideline with Smith. Even though the touch judges and the referee weren't sure who'd started it, you can bet that the NRL will be taking a very close look at that. It was such an ugly incident that there will be some action taken, I am sure. Back to Paul Green. Green gives it wide to Shipway. He's got support on the outside in Smith. Now to Smith. Petherbridge comes at him. He kicks ahead, but it's gone over the touchline.
Well, an enterprising shift that was forced via referee Kelvin Jeffs calling yet another stoppage in this game.
It's like the battle of the Little Bighorn. There are players down all over the place. That one is Monty Beetham who's down.
This is the shift back. Warriors defence got up very quickly and the centres forced Green to look for another option. He chose it. I think it was a very poor option for Odenryan to go in, offer an opportunity. Well, he'll probably practice that a little bit in the weeks coming up, but in fairness, he did have a fair bit of defence coming across from Auckland. but they are walking wounded at the moment. They have players putting their hand up, looking for a spell on the bench.
Beetham's up. Now Odin Ryan, he's also up. Back to a full contingent. Although not for Auckland, because they are a man short with Lautiti having been sent off.
Well, I think they've got to try and play this a little bit technically too, John. Auckland, they know that a lot of their bigger blokes are going to struggle to be able to contain some of the Cowboys players, particularly a man short late in the game. They've got to try and bring them into effect at the other end of the football field and leave the more mobile players able to take it. Referee Jeffs calling another infringement in the game. This will give a chance, as we see the stat over where the game's being played, give them a chance to play it at the other end of the field. 2 men in the tackle. Tim Brasher, one of them, I think you could safely say, came in, give the ball a little bit of a tilt out, almost got away with it.
There are the penalties. They're 8-7 in favour of North Queensland at the moment. Jerry Seyu. 10 metres inside North Queensland territory to Petherbridge. Played back to Mears. Elects to go back onto the short side once more to Seyu, and he drives it up inside the 20. Jones looking for the runner, coming from deep, and that runner was Leovar. Taliti Leovar plays it on tackle number 5, back to Jones, now away to Simon, little grubber, kick ahead, Tuamavave coming after him, he's got it! Tony Tuamavave is able to dive through and get it. Try scored by Tuamavave. That may be the game breaker. They're a man short, but they've scored the only 2 tries, Auckland, and Tony Tuamavave takes them to a 14-6 lead.
And coming from their chief playmaker, John Simon, cleverly disguised, he dropped it off the left foot, kicked inside out, put it into a great hole. I think it was very difficult for the North Queensland defence to be able to counter for that. Brasher and Damien Smith were almost running into each other. May have had a bit of a peep up, but you've got to make commitment in decisions like that, Brett. You've got to make commitment, and that's certainly what Tuamavave did there.
Well, he certainly did. He put his body on the line, didn't he? And that was a great set-up try, because, as we said, John Simons, Tuamavave knew the play was on. John Simons put the kick through on the left foot, and as you mentioned, Smith and Brasher were caught in 2 minds then who was going to get the ball. While they were thinking about it, Tuamavave, as I said, put the body on the line, went over for a very good 4-pointer.
14-6, John Simon the chance to take them out to a 10-point lead, and maybe they're heading towards their first away win of the season, Auckland. It's one they'll remember if they do get home, having played most of the game a man short.
And boy, doesn't this bloke. Won't he be able to claim some responsibility for their win? Between he and Stacey Jones, they basically pilot the team around. The forwards do all the work for them, but the Brains Trust certainly has put them in the right position at the moment. An opportunity now to extend the lead to 10 points.
And wide by John Simon. No goal, so it remains at 14 points to 6 in favour of Auckland. Here it is again. Lovely little kick, this one by John Simon off the left foot. Great skill and terrific work by the big fella Tuamavave to get down, get that ball, and then twist through the tackle and score. 14-6 in favour of Auckland. From the restart, the Warriors inside their own 20. Jerry Seyu. Quick play the ball to Monty Beetham. He's wearing 21, Monty Beetham. His other jersey, you may remember, was ripped earlier in the game, so he's now into jersey 21. And Simon says, let's get out of here early on. And deep kick by John Simon finds touch. Applauded by his teammates, saying that's what we want, not only slow the ball down, but let's get out of here as quickly as we can. Simon, who set up the try with a great kick, and that deep kick, just what Auckland needed.
A bit of body language starting to tell stories at the moment out there, John. But we've got to remember, of course, there's still almost 25 minutes of this game to go. That's enough to win a few football games. That goal probably would have given North Queensland an opportunity. They now know that 2 tries will put them in front should one of them be converted. But they've got to fix up, patch up some holes in the game, and this is where that they've had them, in being able to transfer the position of the game where it's being played.
Now North Queensland needing desperately to score a try. They haven't been able to crack this 12-man defence as yet. Julian O'Neill trying to go over the top. If you can't go through them, go over them. And hurt himself in the process, O'Neill, as he gets up very gingerly. This kick, now Paul Green is offside. He was in front of the kicker. Goes down to Petherbridge. He got around Green. Then is caught and driven to ground in the tackle of Brett Boyd. Monty Beetham. Sayu. Tackle made on him by Halliday with the aid of Buttigieg. Tuamavave, the try scorer, with a full head of steam down the short side. Makes a good 10 metres to Tuamavave. Then a quick play the ball, what they needed. Stacey Jones looking for a runner just coming off his hip. Turned it back on the inside to Beetham. Keeping the ball alive now, Auckland. Last tackle coming up for the Warriors. Again, John Simon with the kick ahead for Shontaine Harpy to chase. Smith comes up with it and makes a break, being chased by Harpy. Mears able to ankle tap him. Goes again, Harpy got him. Back to Peter Jones. 10 short of halfway is where he plays the ball. Morrison able to shuffle his pass. Wide it goes to Halliday. Greg Burke. 12 inside Auckland's half is where he'll play it. Goldthorpe looking for the runner on the inside. Wasn't read by the North Queensland attack though. Has to play the ball. Now back to Paul Green. Green ducks through. Got through another. Then turns his pass back on the inside to Peter Jones. Jones over the line, held up. Terrific defence though. Give credit where credit is due.
Shontaine Harpy was the man that got back there, I think.
Came off the wing, Shontaine Harpy, and did a terrific job to hold up big Peter Jones.
Great left foot step from Green. Completely got past Robert Mears, I think. Support play was first class. Harpy got back there, managed to roll on the side, probably given some sort of assistance by another defender that put him off balance. A little bit of extra spring in the step now.
North Queensland to feed the scrum, being held up in goal, so 10 metres out. And they desperately need a try from this, the Cowboys. Green, oh, the ball put to ground by Noel Goldthorpe, and a penalty goes to Auckland, ruled to have been touched in an offside position.
Well, that's almost stage fright, isn't it? They knew that there was an opportunity there for him. Ran the ball wide. He took the lock forward with him as well. Tuamavave sprinted across to cover Green. Perhaps a little bit of a peek. Will miss contact, but that is a huge let-off for the Warriors.
And that really is just an unforgivable error.
Well, look, I just can't understand why they actually put a play on so close to the scrum. I would have thought you'd try and get at least 1 or 2 passes wider. More space out there.
Let's be honest, that is just a basic unforgivable error given the context of the game. So Auckland now able to attack again. If they can put another try on the Warriors, they have sealed this game. They lead by 14-6.
There's no cover.
Tim Brasher getting back for it. Unbelievable, there's still 19 minutes to go. The game seems to have been going forever. And Blokes will be on the old age pension by the time this game finishes. Now wide again to Jones, having been held up in goal. This time can't get through the defence. Paul Green right on halfway. Now back to Goldthorpe. Then to Brasher. Swarmed on by first Wagner. Then in to help him was Jones. Here's the last for the Cowboys to Paul Green. Kicking out towards Shontaine Harpy's wing. Chase being led by Robert Ralph. Put to ground 12 out from his own line. David Miles just slipping as he went into the tackle of Smith. Harpy. So just using up their tackles now as it's played by Coxon. Tuamavave. Having a good game, Tony Tuamavave. Picks up Mears, then back to Coxon. Shuffled away once more to Simon. No, ball stuck though by Noel Goldthorpe. Almost through, and Coxon coming across in cover was able to put him over. O'Neill, his pass wide to Morrison. Showed it to the inside and then is driven over the touchline. Well, they're self-destructing, North Queensland, early in the tackle count and push straight into touch. I mean, they just don't want to win.
Yeah, after one tackle. I think the idea was right, but if you're going to try and commit a defender, you've also got to remember you've got to have a peep at where you're able to work, the field that's available to be able to work with. There didn't seem any other option available other than turn the ball in. North Queensland's errors really are the difference between the two teams at the moment. It would seem a surprise that scores are so close yet. Another offer.
Lost on the first tackle by John Simon. Picked up now by Julian O'Neill. Getting on the outside of Nigel Wagner. Gets him by the jersey and bulldogs the Cowboy to ground. Robert Ralph. Schloss bounces away from a couple. Still going, Jeremy Schloss. 11 metres out. Played to Wappo. Then it goes away to Green. Then on to Goldthorpe. Then to Jones. Defence came in quickly from Miles to shut him down. Goldthorpe. Back to Buttigieg. Coming across at the angle, but not with really any purpose from John Buttigieg. Now towed ahead by Bell, straight to Petherbridge. Back on his line, read it well.
He did read it well, but you've probably got to ask the question, John, whether there was any communication there. There didn't appear to be any other players that knew that move was on.
John, one thing I've got to give a lot of credit to the Warriors' defence. What they're doing is they're moving up. They're not coming up too fast. They're staying in the straight line, and they're letting the Cowboys go through their plays, watching it unfold, and then making the tackle. They're not coming up too quick and committing themselves.
Leavar playing the ball, 25 out from his own line. Back to Jones, once more early in the count, he kicks deep. Brasher just outside his own 20, starts to run it back. Gets to 10 from halfway, Tim Brasher. Appo. Infield from dummy half, Graham Appo, and on halfway is where he plays the ball. Ball lost, and this will be a knock-on. Even though it came back for North Queensland from Halliday. Knocked on initially, so an Auckland feed.
Yeah, the ball not touching the turf, but it was clearly knocked forward. Went into an Auckland player.
And
going back to Jeremy Schloss, you've probably got to say, John, having a look at every close-up we get of these players, the amount of sweat as we see it dropping off the nostrils of Taliti Leavar, that it is still quite humid here. It appeared like it was going to cool down a lot before the match, but of course, the Aucklanders probably not used to this sort of humidity.
Nigel Wagner playing it on halfway. Now to Beetham. Defence didn't come up to Monty Beetham, and he was able to get a very easy 15 metres. North Queensland just content to stay back. Pretty easy yards or metres these by Auckland. Played by Leavar. Kicked ahead by Stacey Jones. Into the clutches this time of Paul Green. Getting into open spaces, but he slipped into that tackle, Paul Green. The crowd yelling that John Simon had hit him in a high tackle, but there's no doubt he slipped into that. No doubt whatsoever. Here's O'Neill. Robert Ralph away through Goldthorpe. Few metres inside Auckland territory. Goldthorpe again to Buttigieg. But he really just ambled up John Buttigieg, didn't hit the line with any purpose and then lost the ball. David Miles. 10 inside his own half is where Miles will play it. Harpy made that wonderful tackle on Peter Jones and held him up in goal to save what looked like being a certain North Queensland try.
Come on. Just place. Stay out, Julian. Julian.
Petherbridge in from fullback. To Siu trying to step through the defence. Buttigieg eventually holds on to him. Deeth.
Work to me. Come on, Goldie. Come on, Goldie.
Simon. Again kicks. This one's gone to Smith. Came off the foot, then dived on by Smith. 15 from his own line is where he plays it.
Well, John, that's a strange play. You could see there that once the decision was made by John Simon to kick the ball, he was trying to get it into touch. That's a fair indication that they're struggling. They need a bit of a break. What would have been better was to get a break through a back-to-back set of 6. Try and put the ball in goal.
Struggling in the hot conditions and, of course, playing a man short with Latiti set off in the first half. This will be a penalty, North Queensland reefing the ball out.
Stay in the tackle.
A two-man tackle. Stacey Jones coming in as one. He was the man that was involved with the rip. Turned straight round to look at referee Kelvin Jeffs.
And O'Neill with the kick for touch.
It's really a penalties they can't afford to give away. They're giving away 20 or 30 metres in territory. Oh,
Glenn
almost.
Morrison, a juggling act. He got it at about the third attempt. Buttigieg, who is, to my mind, another player struggling in these conditions tonight, John Buttigieg. Just when North Queensland really need him to be going forward. Ball has been lost by Halliday, picked up by Simon. Simon chased, he was caught by Brasher. Back it goes to Miles. He's got Nigel Wagner on his outside. Wagner going for the corner, scores his second try. Terrific try by the Auckland Warriors. That will seal the game and give them credit. They've been a man short in defence, but they've scored 3 tries to 0, and that's a double for Nigel Wagner.
Well, there's a lot of things that young footballers can have a look at in this try. One of them you don't admire, and it was the loss of possession. The next one was Johnny Simon scooping the ball up and taking off. And this is where the young kids are going to have a transfers the ball into his left hand. The delivery across to David Miles was first class. Miles simply went across and drew Graham Appo before he handed off to Nigel Wagner, who did an enormous amount of the work to get there, Brett.
Well, this was a great try. I've got to admit, I thought 3 times they probably should have just held the ball and died with it, but they had men in support. Wagner did very well to catch up with everyone. Still had a fair bit of work to do, and it was a very good try by the Warriors.
Tell you what, he might be really an underrated player, Nigel Wagner. He is a very, very good finisher.
Yeah, he had a blinder last week against the Bulldogs.
Excellent try by Wagner, and against the odds, playing a man short in hot, humid conditions that they're not used to, Auckland, they've scored 3 tries to 0, and that pretty much sums up the run of the game. Give them credit.
And John, it's come again from a simple handling error made by the Cowboys, who, as we've said all night, are playing against 12 men and are just making too many silly mistakes.
Yeah, I think they pretty much forgot about it very early in the match, Brett, that they didn't have to win the game in the first 10 or 15 or 20 minutes or anything like that. They were always going to be battling a side that's up against, that contained 12 men. I think, though, that the one safety thing that we've got to make sure that we do mention, of course, though, is the interchange bench and what value it has played in assisting Auckland tonight. I think they've done wonderfully well. If a team can't rotate an interchange bench, 12 men on the field are going to struggle. Probably 10 years ago with different rules, they may not have been able to continue throughout the match with so much success. But you play with the rules you're given. The cards have been dealt and they've worked it perfectly.
Can I just ask one question? North Queensland haven't been able to score a try against the side down the bottom of the ladder playing a man short. how did they score 50 against the Northern Eagles? How? That has to be the great mystery of the season.
It's a wonderful game, rugby league.
John Simon's kick. And just short. No goal by John Simon, but 18 points to 6 it is in favour of Auckland.
Good work from David Miles, his support play. He drew Appo, as Brett Kenny mentioned. It appeared that he should have gone himself perhaps and done his best to just secure position or take the player out. Drilling the sword in a little bit more. It's a very disconsolate bunch of Cowboys at the moment. If Tim Sheens was unhappy with last week's effort, I'm sure that tonight he's going to leave him just wondering exactly what he's got to do.
Little Stacey Jones, what a difference he's made to Auckland. I guess every side that's got a class halfback, if he's not on the field, you're going to struggle. But they're just a different side when Jones is there with Simon, but particularly Jones just controlling the way the ball goes. Lost by Monty Beetham. He's complaining to the referee it was stripped, and I think he lost it of his own accord, and Kelvin Jeff's rules just that way.
Well, I think the only thing we've got to look forward to here is just to see whether the Cowboys can notch their first try of the evening. They've threatened often enough. They've looked like they were certain a couple of times. Still haven't managed to cross the stripe yet.
Chad Halliday, who was the player who lost that ball, which eventually led to the Wagner try, which is, you would think, sealed this game. Glenn Morrison to play it, 7 minutes remaining. Can they score a try? Julian O'Neill away to Buttigieg. Now, back through Jones. Jones dummies to the outside, now gives it to Smith, and he will go in and score. You would think it's come too late for them. Damien Smith scores. Referee will just check it with Eddie Ward, the video referee, first of all.
Yeah, I think well, there you have. There's the call, and I think that it's a pretty good call from where we are. We've got a little bit of a difficult angle, but it did look as though that there may have been at least a very flat pass. There it was passed around about 2 metres short of the line. It was caught on around about the line. The decision for the referee now to make is to whether he believed that the ball was intentionally propelled forward or whether it naturally went with the body flow forward. I think you've got no problem whatsoever that the ball did travel forward about a metre, but I think that it was probably more so because of the speed that the player was running at.
Which is, of course, allowed, even though a ball does travel forward, as long as initially it was thrown backwards and then the momentum of the player sees it go forward. That's not a forward pass.
I reckon he'll rule a try. It's 18 points to 6. 6.5 minutes to go.
Ref's call.
Well, we've got a ball game on our hands again. Should this kick from Julian O'Neill be successful? He's kicked some tough ones in the past, but I'm sure that he feels a little bit of extra weight on his shoulders at the moment.
So on the referee's call, referee Kelvin Jeffs gives the try. Let's watch it again.
Numbers are always short on the blind. You could see Auckland, their players were just having a little bit of a spell. Stacey Jones was the man that got drawn in. He didn't need to go. Odin Ryan stayed out. I've got to say that ball's gone forward. There's no problem. He's caught that on the try line. The referee, though, was in pretty good field position. I think he's basically said that. Well, he didn't throw it forward. Perhaps it's just gone that way.
Yep. An important kick. This to get them back to a converted try behind. Looks good off the boot. And over. We do have a ball game on our hands. The longest game of the season. The longest game in memory. And it might still be in the balance. Just under 6 minutes remaining. It's 18-12 in favour of Auckland.
Well, a clever switch in play. It came from their halves that did it. Paul Green, the man that committed 2 defenders. You really couldn't blame Odin Ryan. He had the decision to stick with his man, but in the end, the decision to stay with his man cost him, because he didn't end up laying with him. The experience of Julian O'Neill, never called on more to slot that ball just inside the left upright. So we're going to find ourselves now with a pretty exciting conclusion to this match, which at best has been fairly scrappy throughout.
And remembering
And we've got to remember, John, last week they drew 18 all, Auckland, when they seemed like that they had the ball game won with 6 minutes to go.
And in fact, there were 2 18-all draws last week, with the Brisbane-Melbourne game finishing 18-all, then Auckland being involved in that 18-all draw. Are we going to see another one? They're in front by 18-12, but North Queensland with the extra man and Auckland, or both sides starting to tire, but you would think it's got to be affecting Auckland more.
Well, that ball's gone forward by about 2 metres.
Now to Goldthorpe. Goldthorpe kicking in behind Petherbridge. Goldthorpe leads the chase. Petherbridge picks it up just out from his own line and lost the ball, and this will be a try. Paul Green goes in and scores. No, the referee's put his hand up.
Oh, John, this is going to be a penalty. One of the players has hit Petherbridge straight across the chops. Well, the crowd can boo all they like. There was no doubt whatsoever, as Petherbridge brought the ball back, that contact was made with his head. He went down like a bag of spuds. He was snoring on the way to the grass. Whack from Goldthorpe on the chin. Good night, nurse. He's snoring. Well, I don't know what the crowd are blowing up about. Tell you what, I think you've got to be fairly happy that they've got a player still on the field. We saw one of the opposing players sent off in the first few minutes of the game for making a tackle that I believe was probably identical to that.
Well, the crowd giving Kelvin Jeff the Bronx cheer as Scott Petherbridge slowly gets to his haunches.
Well, all I can say is that they haven't had their eyes open or watched any of the replays with that one.
No, I think as soon as you see the replay,
goodness me,
you realise there was only one decision the referee could have made. Well, at least one, and that was to give a penalty, if not take it further. But he has put it on report.
John, I think you can call that a fairly one-eyed crowd here in Townsville at the moment, and they've got that one eye closed.
But Noel Goldthorpe is on report for that high tackle on Scott Petherbridge. Just under 4 minutes left. It's still 18-12 in favour of the Auckland Warriors. John Simon to play it. What a game this has been.
They've just got to adopt safety first. Just get the ball in 2 hands. No mistakes, and then rely on the kicking game of their halves.
Jason Deef struggling to get away from Jones. Now they've come to the last, Auckland. Mears goes down the blind side and it finds touch. Good kick by Mears.
Well, I've got to
only centimetres in from touch is where he found it.
He did, John, but I've got to say that I was surprised there. John Simon was waiting ready for a drop kick. He was perfectly positioned. He'd set himself back on the inside. Mears obviously thinking, well, our best chance is to slow them down a little bit. The ball dropping just inside the line, which I'm sure that he was ecstatic about, because had it have gone out, it was a simple changeover on the last tackle.
Tell you what, Wally, it would have been a great field goal if it gone to Simon who kicked it, because he was a long way out, but we've seen him pot some beauties in the past. Halliday. Put to ground by Wagner. Goldthorpe. Away to Green, then to Jones, wide to Julian O'Neill. O'Neill's got Smith on his outside. Well tackled though, David Miles. He made sure he couldn't throw that pass. Now there's a fight on between the 2 number 3s, O'Neill and Miles, and it's on again. The second all-in brawl of the night.
Well, that's going to cost the North Queensland team, I think. Julian O'Neill should not have done that.
A game that the judiciary and the NRL are going to take a long time to pore over this one. A very spiteful game it has been.
I can tell you,
and David Miles, both of the fights that have started, you have to say, he's been involved in.
Well, I don't believe he started that one. Julian got up, he did all the pushing and shoving.
3 from the Cowboys here, Bristol. Yes. 3 from the Cowboys. Number 14. Number 14. Robert, move away. Julian,
Well, Harpy's saying I wasn't in it.
Okay, just let's be quiet. Let's be quiet, boys. Let's be quiet.
We were playing the ball there. There was only a bit of push and shove, but this player went on with it. Okay. Went into this player, and this player retaliates. I've got the Cowboys as the instigator of that, okay?
Thank you, Paul. Okay. All right, listen. The penalty's going against you. You go to the bin for 10. Where you go? There you go.
Julian O'Neill, the instigator, goes to the bin for 10 minutes. So that's the end of the game for O'Neill with 2 minutes left.
Listen to me. He started. You're carrying on. He's been willing to carry on. You go to the bin.
He's got 10 shots.
What's he got 10 for?
Harpy's got 10 and he had nothing to do with it. David Miles shakes hands with him as he goes past and said, sorry, mate, that was supposed to be me.
Honestly, the touch judge really, I said it before, he needs to visit the optometrist.
Wow.
Oh, that's disgraceful.
I bet David Miles buys him a couple of beers at the end of this game. Oh, well, we've seen the lot. We've seen it all. It's still 18-12 in favour of Auckland. 1.5 minutes left. The Warriors with the chance now to pot a field goal. Jones, he thought about it. Stacey Jones, he might need a field goal. No, great covering tackle, Tim Brasher. Simon into dummy half. Back to Mears. He thinks about the field goal. Doesn't have time. Back to Brasher. This is the last throw of the dice now for North Queensland.
Why would he do that? They're on the third tackle.
They've got numbers out on the left-hand side. Away to Robert Ralph. That ball taken out of his grasp. The referee rules it came out legally, so it's an Auckland ball. Auckland ball, and they can use up time for the last 59 seconds to get home.
Yeah, and I think I agree with the referee's call.
Wait for me to go back on the 10, Tony.
I think Robert Ralph tried to squeeze the ball out with his left hand.
Back we come. Back we come. Come on. Stand square, 14. 14, stand square. Ralphie.
I think he wants 14 to stand square. Right. Auckland ball. Auckland now with a player sent off and another in the sin bin, playing with 11 men, but inside the last minute and leading by a converted try, and they'll just work down the clock. They don't have to throw any passes. John Simon will be held on to. North Queensland have to desperately try and go in one-on-one and strip the ball. Miles was caught before he got the ball, in fact, by Smith. Now the touch judge is in again. Well,
Come here, number 2.
he's had more screen time than John Wayne, this touch judge.
What's happened?
The pass got given, but this player had called the player out before he'd actually got the ball.
Okay, you're tackling a man without the football. We'll go back to a penalty.
Yep.
Over here.
Fair call too. Smith did tackle him without the ball or before he'd got the ball, so fair penalty.
Behind the line.
No doubt John Simon, with 25 seconds, he could put the ball over, but I think he'd probably opt for a penalty shot at goal. We'll use up all of that time.
Yep. Smart thinking. Have a shot at goal.
Yes, yes.
And I would think the security men will be coming in now to give the referee some protection off, because this crowd are very, very fired up.
What's happening with
What a game this has been. There's the hooter. Kelvin Jeffs will be saying, thank God for that. How did I ever get to be called into this game? I thought I was going to be doing a First Division game between Cronulla, the Sharks, and Newcastle last night.
Now, John Simon screaming out for his players to get out to the left-hand side. What his problem there was, as Jeffs is telling the players to go back there 10 metres, Simon will be telling his players to get out to the left-hand side in case he hooks the ball around.
Well, all he has
He's
to
got
do,
the opportunity.
he can just kick it over the
to
touchline.
kick it over the dead ball line. He doesn't even have to aim at the post. Just smash it straight over the dead ball line and make sure the ball goes dead.
He can just kick it over this touchline. Doesn't matter where it goes. He can just simply tap it into touch if he wants to. The game's over. He's going to have the shot at goal. It's swinging back in and waved away, and it didn't go dead. Oh, would you believe it? North Queensland kick ahead. Brasher was pulled to ground after he kicked that ball, but the referee says, I'm not having any more. That's it. I just want to get out of here. And listen to the crowd.
Well, to be very honest, John, they're going to give him an absolute hammering. I think there was some ordinary decisions on the way through, probably that evened out. But the last couple of decisions that they complained about, they had no reason to. They were fair calls.